Ring, 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 ring. Rip. Hey guys, in this episode I do the water cooling and some tuning and get the bike fired up. So the biggest thing I had to do was I had to convert to AN fittings, and there's a lot of different sizes and things like that. I just wanted to try running AN fittings just because it was one of the things I wanted to do instead of the other tubing. And it's not that expensive. I'll put links to what I bought. I spent about total, I think, 62 bucks. So in order to get all your lines really nice and to really customize the angles and things like that, and to kind of convert everything, I didn't think it was too bad. And I liked the way it looked. So I got fittings and I had to put them into different size things. So I used a different assortment of fittings and I JB welded all of them in. Instead of like tapping and doing that, I was debating doing that, but yeah, it just takes longer. Would have been a little nicer, but some of the things I was working with were plastic and some of them didn't have a lot of meat if I was gonna drill and tap it. So I could have went on the outside possibly, but in order to run the size line that I was getting, it was just easier for me to JB weld everything. It'll hold up. So, and if I ever need to get a new hose fitting for like the Stage6 or something like that, or even a new cover for the Malozzi pump, that stuff's cheap. I think the new fittings are like $8. So if I ever need to revert, I can, it's easy, and I can always go back. So that's why I chose to JB weld everything. And it's holding up really great, as you guys will see in the video. Also in this video, I don't have too much footage of it. It's like a speed clip. But what I did too with the exhaust was I grinded some areas smooth. The biggest thing I did was when I was welding it, if you guys remember from the last episode, I had kind of a big gap, a little big, not massive, but I had to kind of do like a tack weld to fill, not like a full bead over. And doing that, I wanted to make sure that I went inside and sanded it smooth so that the flow is smooth and there's not a protrusion coming down from the header to mess with, you know, the harmonics of the flow for the exhaust. So I do that. You can't tell too good in the video. You can definitely see me doing it, but I just want to let you guys know that's what I was doing. And the same thing when I cut off the bracket on the rear, it left, I tried as best as I could not to cut in. There was one spot where I cut in slightly into the back baffling of the exhaust, and I got rid of that, and I JB welded, filled it in, and then did a light sand and painted over. And the paint I use is Fusion 360, 1200 degree semi-gloss, high temp paint. It's also gas and oil resistant. The only place I was able to find that was actually Lowe's. So that's a great pipe paint. I know guys use grill paint all the time, but this is nice because it is semi-gloss. One of the things I didn't like about using just the flat black, or it's like a charcoal black paint, is the issue of once oil drips on it or you get gas on it or something, you can see the different tones. With this semi-gloss, if you spill on it, it wipes off and it looks consistent. So it's a really nice paint. It's about $8 a can, but it's really good stuff. It's durable, holds up. So yeah, so for tuning, one of my issues I actually had was I let my buddy have the micrometer, the one that was working on the engine case. And so he didn't have that the night we were messing with timing. And I don't have a timing tool, which I should get, is the kind that go in the top and screw in. So I know I was supposed to, at least from my research I did, I was going to run 2.6, 2.8 millimeters before top dead center. Anyway, so I was trying to basically figure that out. So I used my piston pin and I inserted it and I got it to before top dead center. And then what I did was I used a marker on there and I marked on the stator plate where that was, and then I used a feeler gauge, and then I measured that out to get my proper timing. It fires and stuff like that, but I still don't think I have, even right now, I mean, it's definitely running a lot better. I don't have proper timing. So I think I'm going to get the tool or wait till I get my chronometer back, but the tool would just be nice to have anyways. Yeah, and so you guys will see me ripping and doing some stuff. The takeoff on this bike is pretty phenomenal. I haven't messed with the transmission yet. There's two things I'm gonna most likely do. One is change the rear spring. There's a spring on Treatland that makes the tension stronger, which holds the variation longer in the rear for the CVT setup. I'm gonna eventually go that, but I want to get the bike running really well, do a full review on the transmission that would be stock. Then I want to do it with the spring and see the differences there, do some times and things like that. And then I also want to do another setup with where I have the Malozzi gears, the race gears, the straight cut ones. I'll press those in, and I'll also do a review on those and kind of be able to give a really nice accurate, like, this is what I'm getting across the board. So first I gotta fully tune it, make sure it's 100%. Temperatures have been great so far. I haven't done any crazy long pulls or really got into the pipe hard yet because I'm breaking it in. So it's not just the cylinder, it's bearings and everything. So I'm just not going too hard on it in the beginning. I know there's some debates on how to break an engine in properly, but anyways, so enjoy this episode. You guys will see everything that gets done, and it's running good. Had it out today, it was awesome. And I'm excited to finally tune it in, and I'll do a specific episode on that. Thanks. So these adapters, as you can see, I cut that, and then that'll sit in there, and then it'll go to this. I checked the volume and everything, won't matter with the heat. I'm still at a good size for volume, and my pump is electric, not mechanical. So anyways, I'm gonna JB weld those in there then. And that holds 5,000 PSI and 550 degrees, so that won't be an issue. And then I'll make it solid, and then my AN fittings will all go into here. So I'm gonna adapt everything to AN. Next, I'm going to put this fitting. It screws in here pretty tight. And then I'm going to, well, it's not straight, but I'll make it straight. Here. There. And then I'll JB weld that into there. Next is I have this temp sense, which now I need to put AN fittings on as well. So I got it to right where it's about to go through. That way I can take it off and put it on the press. This pump wasn't working. Don't know why. We checked the connections, we checked the battery. Luckily I had another Malozzi pump right here. So both of them were brand new though, so I don't know. Anyways, but I need the fittings that I made, so we're gonna take off the front. Evan had an ingenious idea. I was gonna JB weld again, but then he's like, let's just take it apart. I was like, fuel line in. Now I need to take apart this. I cut a new cable and put it in so that it has, sorry, this end on it. And now I'm about to put it in and find out how much I need to count that.
Pulling up in my Honda. Got my chick La Fonda. Rippin', double D rippin' on my Honda. Yeah, I'm rippin' fast. Look at me, mixing my two-stroke gas. Got my sweet red and white. Gonna hit the town tonight. Rippin', got the Honda rippin'. Yo, rippity rippin', sick. Riding a Honda.